Oh, okay. All right, guys. Welcome to the Danger Ahead podcast with your hosts, Duncan and Jared. Today, we have reached episode 5 of the podcast. We have gotten a lot of good feedback from everybody. Everybody tended to tune into last week's episode on fitness. If you cannot find it, make sure you tune into the Apple Podcast and Spotify channels as well. And, man, today, I don't know if you guys heard, but we had hmm, we had a kill. I would say a murder, as they pronounce it, for the CEO of United Healthcare, and the suspected killer being Luigi Mangione. Hope I pronounced it right. Do not kill me. Um, and basically, we want to dive into, of course, his motive for doing it, but also dive into how it kind of relates to the average American and how we're all suffering under this big umbrella of corporate greed. It is ridiculous. Okay, and for those who don't know or don't realize, for like if you unless you run a business, profit is not the money you made. Right? It's not the money you made. That's called revenue. Profit is when everything has been paid for and how much excess money you made. So when it comes to paying your employees, when it comes to paying for materials and shipping and all that other stuff, all that was already covered from the revenue. That means what you're seeing in profit means that those companies had that much excess amount of money that they made, right? That they don't need to operate because again, all the costs and everything has already been covered. Just to put in perspective.
Hmm.
So Darren is gonna kind of dive into my boy Luigi and why everybody loved the man for what he did. Even though we don't condone murder. We don't condone it. Let's just say, but at the same time, we also say Batman could have ended the Joker sometimes. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So there, dive into it, man.
So, as we know, Luigi walked up on the CEO, middle of the day. He didn't wait for a night. He was driving. He just walked right up, popped him 3 times, and then disappeared into New York. And what surprised all of the officials is that everybody who saw it was just like, "Good, we don't care." So, of course, their initial reaction is, murder is wrong. You shouldn't be, killing people. We shouldn't be cheering this. But whenever things get to an extreme point like this, one of the main questions you need to always ask is why? Like, how did we get to the point where some random citizen just walked up to the CEO of a company, killed him in cold blood, and everyone was like, good, we're happy about this. This doesn't make us even feel slightly bad. And what it's come down to at this point is, since we were just talking about profit, healthcare companies have got to the point where it has become profit over people. Like when we buy health insurance, when you have car insurance, when you have house insurance, the whole point of it is if something goes wrong, because eventually, no matter what you do, something is going to go wrong, you have insurance to help you cover it. But all these companies at this point have almost mastered how to wiggle their way out of paying what they're supposed to pay on technicalities or by just throwing some bullshit reason. Like actually, because if you read subsection I and they have the really fine print where it's like it doesn't cover this actually in reality. And people at this point have gotten sick of it. So when you make people desperate, Luigi becomes one of them. They're going to do desperate things. And now you have a whole different problem on your hands. And now they're scrambling to try and I'm sure they're really going to throw everything at him to try and make an example of him. So no one, tries to do this again. But they're not looking at the root of this problem. We should have never gotten to this point because they always say, oh, if you have a problem, go to your officials, you can protest. And people have been. They are. And nothing's changed. It got worse. So what did you expect to happen eventually? We tried talking. You're like, shut up. No. All right, fine. Got your attention now, didn't it?
So my thing is when it comes to this stuff is like a lot of people love to blame the Affordable Care Act, right? By the way, again, for those who don't know, the Affordable Care Act is Obamacare. It was
Exactly.
labeled Obamacare by the Republican Party to make you scared of it. In reality, it is the Affordable Care Act. It's why you can afford insurance. But this is what happened when these companies saw that, basically you had to make insurance more affordable. They raised their premiums. You know why? Because they wanted more profit. like, like I'll give you guys perspective. I'll give you guys a dive. So my current job, right, is prior authorizations, aka your insurance is not paying for something the doctor said you needed. So my job is to argue for you and the doctor why the insurance needs to be paying for whatever you're getting, right? And I kid you not, most of the denials we get is, and I quote, there is a more cost-effective alternative. Yeah, that like doctor says here, I could save your life with this medicine. Insurance goes, but listen, what if we don't? What if we gave them something else?
Have you tried peppermint oil, perhaps?
And man, that thing burned my eyes, man. You can look, guys. If y'all ever get peppermint oil, there's a reason why bugs stay away from it. Okay, I'm letting you know that now. I put it all over the house one time when there was mosquitoes. Man, I felt like a mosquito my damn self. It was horrible. But besides that point, a lot of what you're seeing now is the same thing when it comes to insurances. Because let's be real, y'all. Let's be real. Most of y'all go to a doctor once a year. Most of the time, that doctor's visit was probably about $50, $100, around those lines. You're currently paying probably $150 a month for insurance, because insurance is just in case. You know how many people have passed away never having to know what the just in case was? So what happened to their money? Has it been allocated? Does it get transferred to the next patient? No, it goes straight into their wallets. You know what I'm saying? Look, I haven't gotten to one car accident in my life yet. I've been driving for probably 6-7 years now. 8, 9. What was that? 21? 21. Yeah. 9 years. 9. I've been driving for 9 years now. I've been paying insurance. I bet you if I get into a big accident, insurance is gonna be like, yeah, see, your coverage doesn't allow more than $10,000 in fixes. And it's like, but I gave y'all 50. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, insurance is always based off what ifs. So when we finally reach that point of the what if, who are you to then tell me I can't get it? Because that's the whole point of the insurance. What if something happens to me? Will I be covered? Yes. Okay. The what if just happened. Can I get covered? No. Why? Because your premium, instead of being $500, you paid $499. What? and trust me when I get it. Like when it comes to, like, for example, the medical field, how, like, for example, certain tests will run like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, but in the actual reality, it probably costs about 20 cents worth of electricity. I already know about that. It is how the hospital tends to bill you. At the same time, y'all are not stupid. Y'all have codes. Y'all have different types of clearances and blah 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 blah. So there's no way on earth you could tell us that you can't afford to give us what we need. And with this Luigi case, this is what happens when people just get tired of all the excuses. What are you talking about, Jared? What are you talking about?
Because I mean, honestly, what was really interesting about this is, like, we both have TikTok, and if you do have TikTok, honestly, besides like the whole fact that we enjoy for fun, if you go into either STEM or just like sort of like certain videos, you'll get a change in what TikTok shows you. And when this happened, I liked one video, and it's just nonstop, hundreds, not even thousands of videos of people saying how they got screwed by their insurance, like left and right, on shitty reasons. Like the one that blew me away was this one woman who was talking about what happened to her mom. Her mother was diabetic, and she said they had the same insurance, 12 years, no problems. Then the following year, their insurance decided to stop covering syringes, gauze pads, and disinfectant. Which, when you're diabetic, if you ever have to prick yourself, you have to be careful with that. And they stopped covering it then. and the costs build up. And her mother ended up dying because they couldn't afford it. And then she said a few days later, she got a letter in the mail from the insurance and a box. And within that box, there were syringes, gauze, all the stuff they needed. And they said they decided, due to extenuating circumstances, her mom died. They decided to cover it. Her mom's dead. It doesn't matter. It's too late. And they did that. Why? Profit. They wanted to make money. So, they're going to try and weasel out of covering stuff. And eventually, with Luigi, you did it to the wrong person. You finally pushed one person over the edge and they said, "Fuck it, I don't care about my life." Because if you actually look at Luigi, he had a great life. His family's well off. He didn't have to do this. But he saw his mom suffering. He said, "Yeah, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna do it myself."
And to kind of show you guys what we mean in regards to the profit parts, right? So I'm gonna list you guys. This is 2023. So like by the end of 2023, right? When we had basically our worst inflation year, right? So these are mind you, these are the companies that profited. I want y'all to, again, we're talking about profited, not revenue, not bringing the most revenue. I'm talking about all the bills are paid, all the employees are paid, everybody's paid. Everything that you need to run the company has been paid. This is just how much they made in billions after the fact. All right? Okay. Saudi Aramco, I believe that's an oil company, right? 247 billion. Apple, 114 billion.
Profit.
All this is profit, by the way. Berkshire Hathaway, 100 billion. Microsoft, 95 billion. Alphabet, which is Google, 78 billion. Gazprom, no idea, 76 billion. Morgan Chase, 63. ExxonMobil, 61. ICBC, 58. China Construction Bank, 55. Uniper, 47. Shell, 47. Agriculture Bank of America of China, my bad, 43. BP, 43. You want to know something crazy about all those companies? What's the two sectors that they mostly are? Technology and energy. But we're told gas prices are too high. Why are gas prices too high? Well, they wanted more profit. There's no reason why gas prices are this high. If you would have told me that my gas, right, and we're going to go with one everybody knows, Exxon, right? Exxon. Everybody knows Exxon. If you would have told me that my gas is almost $3 or $4 because of supply and demand, right? That's how they go about it. But then you told me the company made $61 billion in profit. I would have thought you was lying. Right? Because no, hear me out, right? Hear me out, right? This is again money they made. This is not value. So this is not when shareholders are holding their stocks and shit. This isn't that, right? If you cut all these in half, all these profits in half, these companies are still operating well. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you had just cut them all in half and give it back to the consumer, where it's like, instead of charging you $3 for gas, I can actually charge you one. Let's be real, like this, and people think I'm crazy for saying this, but they could charge gas at $1.50 per gallon and still make a profit, bro. They'll still make the profit. So it's like, why am I suffering because you want to make a profit like that? And it kind of shifts into how America works. We're not a country based off of capitalism where it's like, I can make this product, you can make this product, like anybody can make it. No. Our whole thing is based off of consumer and company. And fuck the consumer. Seriously, because it's the same thing with rent, right?
Hmm.
Why is rent so high? Because somebody can afford it.
Hmm.
Not everybody can afford it,
Hmm.
right? Even now, I'll be honest. Even now, bro, this why diving into how like houses work and shit. Most of these banks require you to put your rent on certain things on a certain limit because that's how much they'll be willing to give you your loan for. So, like, I have a 3-bedroom in Boston. I'm charging $3K for it. Right? No, that's still cheap for Boston. That's three. Trust me, that's still cheap for Boston. But the reason I have to charge $3K for it is because the bank told me I need to. If it were up to me and I didn't need to, bro, I'll be charging probably like 2,000, if not at most 2,500. But it's because the banks want to make their money. You know what I'm saying? So then it puts a prerequisite on me. Now I have to make my money because I got to pay the bank. So now I got to make my money. Now here comes the consumer. Who, mind you, I'm a consumer as well because I'm buying from the bank. But then you have to buy from me to buy from the bank. So now it's a 3-way connection. Now you have to pay me the rent, not based off of the apartment, right? Not based off of you needing home and shelter, but because the big guy said so. You know what I'm saying? Because they said literally, and I kid you not, they said literally, if you do not charge this much, we will not be giving you that loan. That's what they literally said to me. That's how much it impacts everybody else. And now here you are with people not able to afford that rent. But guess what? There is a surplus of buildings that are just vacant. No, you're not getting anything from them, but guess what? You're not going to give it to them because guess what? All those people that can't afford it or can't afford it, whatever, now they got to pick and choose. Oh, where can I go? Where can't I go? And everything like that. Like I low key, I feel like when you see a vacant lot that's been there for years and years and years, or a vacant house that's been there for years and years and years, if it's been like 5 years, bro, and that thing is still vacant, bro, force a sale. Force a sale. Make that sale affordable. Hey, 100,000 for this. You gotta have to fix it up yourself, but 100,000. Something along those lines.
I mean, no. Okay.
It's not fair. This is how corporate greed goes, bro. And I'm gonna talk about it a little later, but I'm after Jared speaks because I'm gonna go into why inflation was so high for y'all and why y'all kind of voted the way y'all did.
But like we see it here in Philly, they buy up old building, knock it down, they build really expensive apartments, and it's still vacant. It sits vacant for years. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but you get charged for that. Like every vacant apartment, you get charged for. So it's like you build a whole new building, and they're just hemorrhaging money. But they're like, nah, we still want that like 5K rent. We don't care. And they were like, we don't have enough houses. Nah, we do. These companies are just greedy. And on top of that, we all know they buy up housing developments and shit too. That way you can't own it and you still have to pay them rent. And even going back to insurance companies, I know everybody heard about it. When Blue Cross and Blue Shield was about to change their insurance, so they only paid for a certain amount of anesthesia for your surgery, they were going to stop paying after a certain amount of time. Now, mind you, at first someone was like, well, yeah, you don't want them to overpay, but then you got to think, shit happens during surgery. Things go wrong all the time. And a surgery can now, that might be saying only take 2 hours, now it takes 4 or 5 because they have to work around it. And then imagine that happens. It's like, oh, your heart stopped on the table, but it's okay. By the way, your insurance stopped paying 3 hours ago, so now you got to, that's 30K, just so you know. You know how many people that would hurt? But they sure as hell backtracked it. They canceled it.
I bet they fucking did. What the hell?
That's what they wanted. And I have Blue Cross Blue Shield. God forbid I needed surgery. I would have been screwed. But yeah, that was what they were going to do. And people are losing their shit.
Hold on, bro. That's bullshit, bro. Because some surgeries take like literally 24 hours. So I don't know what the fuck they talking about. On top of that, who the fuck came up with that idea? Let's be honest. If you coming up with shit like that, we need to know who came up with it and then we need to know who voted yay. I feel like no cap, no. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out, because they always say I work for you. Okay, I'm your boss. Then tell me who did it. Tell me who did it, because in no way, shape, or form should I be on anesthesia, knocked out, my life getting saved by these doctors, and then the doctor has to stop midway and go, "Sir, you can't afford the rest of the anesthesia.
Wake up."
And
Wake
now
up.
you're over here with half a stomach, like, and then he wakes your ass up, "Sir, we're gonna have to knock you out the old-fashioned way. Say cheese." Bah! like, yo, what? Yo, nah. You know what? No. This is why I will say I'm with Luigi, but not in the way y'all think. Right? The same way Luigi knew the CEO of United Healthcare, I think we need to know who has a say in a lot of these things, because what you decide, what that person decides, affects me personally, right? Now, mind you, right? Hospitals, they have their doctors right there. Find a doctor about us, and then you see the list of doctors, right? This person works for this department. This person works for this department. We have that, but now, but these profit companies, right? These profit ones, ain't know about us. Ain't know about us. You can know Sarah at the front desk. You don't know who Sarah answered to though, right? So it's like, if we want change to happen, bro, we gotta have accountability in it. And in order for us to have accountability, give us the names, give us the pictures. Let me know if a motherfucker decided, hey, he had enough anesthesia. Let me know who that person is, and let me know who voted yay or nay. Serious. I'm being like, man, it is flabbergasted. Like, here's what I'm sad with it, Jared. I'm raising a son right now, and a stepdaughter. And who they grew up to be, I don't know, but it starts with me. So who the fuck raised these people? They started off as babies and kids, right? That's how they started off. So who in the blue hell raised them to be profit mongers? I don't feel bad as hell. Not like I was raised right, in my opinion. So if I see I'm making 350 million or 100, first of all, I don't need that much money. Let's be honest, y'all. Let's be honest. You do not need more than $1 million a year. Your salary, no person in life should have a salary worth more than $1 million a year. Not one. Right? I get it. We got all these athletes out here earning almost like, what was it? I think somebody put some math where it was like, oh, just to talk to this person for 2 seconds, Bezos made 300,000. I'm like, what? Like, you don't need 10 mansions. You don't need 10,000 yachts and all that stuff. Hell, you don't even need 10 properties, bro. Put a limit on what you can own, bro. I like, and don't get me wrong, it's capital, and I get that, right? I'm not trying to say like, damn, everybody should be limited. What I'm trying to say is, at a certain point, you as a human being should know, hey, I make too much. No, legit. I tell everybody all the time, bro. If they gave me $5 million right now, $5 million, I'm buying a house. I'm putting money, probably 50,000 to about 50,000 to everybody else I know, because that's enough to pay off whatever loan and stuff they got. And then I'm donating. I'm donating at least $2 million. Because what do I look like having $5 million in my pocket or whatnot? What I can have a whole brain replacement surgery for like $1 million anyway. So I already have enough. Like there's no reason I touch more than $5 million. There's no reason anybody should be a billionaire. By the way, you got Elon Musk out here, 362 billion,
richest man in the world.
And mind you, he's not rich because he's hardworking and stuff. No, he's very manipulative. He knew what to do. Same with Trump. Trump had so much failed businesses. Everybody's like, oh, he's a good businessman. No, he's not. Yeah, Trump steak, Trump water, Trump golf, Trump all this other stuff, Trump underwear, Trump wine, and then he failed everything. But guess what he's good at? Getting out of trouble. So you're confusing good businessman with getting out of trouble. Like, what are we talking about? You feel me? But go ahead, and then we're gonna speak on the Trump later. All right, after you speak, we're gonna speak on Trump real quick.
But what? And one of the main arguments that I see like on the news, like CNN, Fox, all of them were saying all the others because now like all the news all of a sudden is like aligned on this, right? Out of nowhere, right after our divisive political season, everyone's like, "Oh no, this is bad." They were saying, "Oh, the CEO didn't kill anybody, bro." Yes, he did. He may not have pulled the trigger, but he sure as hell cocked the gun, put it in someone's. There you go, hold that for me. Like if I cut the water off to a village, right? I build a dam, and they all die of dehydration and I go, well, I didn't kill them. They were just dehydrated. I wasn't me. It's like, bro, you built the dam. You caused the problem. Yeah, you're indirectly responsible for all those deaths. He's got a lot of blood on his hands. He just didn't pull the trigger. Ooh, no, he's guilty. Like I said, I hope
guilty by what association? Is that
yes,
what it is?
100% more than guilty by it, bro. It's like he did everything but pull the trigger. So I was like, nah, bro, you're guilty as shit. No, it's not gonna like, yes, he did. He killed plenty of people. Someone needed life-saving surgery, and George is like, well, maybe you could try this other one, but it's gonna take us like, about 2.5, 3 weeks to kind of work through all the paperwork, and then they died. Oh well, shit. It's like, no, you killed them. You indirectly killed a lot of people. Highest denial rate out of every health insurance company. You sure as shit did.
You know what that kind of remind me of? Saw.
Oh, it's right. There was one. What was that third one?
No. Saw in general. So remember he what did he do? He ended up getting the guy who denied his claim, getting the doctor who denied his surgery.
Oh, that was a second. I think it was the second one.
I think it might have been the second or third one. But he still gave him a chance. Don't get me wrong, he still gave him a chance. But like one of the things was like, your company denied this little boy of cancer, something, and you said no. So it's time to play a game. I'm like, oh, okay, what's happening here? And Saw movies came out when we were kids, so it's like you never really understood what the hell he's talking about. And don't get me wrong, so we could bring it up on another discussion about like the psychological like development of like Jigsaw and his victims and stuff like that. I don't mind talking about that, but mental health is definitely a discussion we gotta have. But when you're a kid, it's like, oh, bad man or good guy. We don't know that Saw is technically supposed to be the good guy, and like the other people are technically supposed to be bad guys. All we saw was dude didn't want to die. Now he's gonna die. Sorry, right? Then when you get older, it's like, oh, these people screw other people's lives. So let's see if they'll fight for their own. And it's like, oh, I get it now, right? But speaking on, how profit margins and everything, especially when it came to Trump and stuff like that, works. So a lot of you guys, average Americans, you guys, everything got expensive over the last couple years, right? And this is why a lot of y'all voted for Trump. All right. I'm not saying y'all are dumb or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying y'all are kind of misinformed or uninformed in regards to what they wanted to tell you, in regards to what they didn't tell you in the first place. So the way inflation works is that things get expensive over time. Maybe it's because cost of living. Maybe it's because something is scarce. Maybe, there was a hurricane where there was a potato farm. Now potatoes got to be more expensive because they don't have no more potatoes, blah, blah, blah. But majority of it's corporate greed. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what. So under Obama, right, we had rates where it was like less than 1%. The most ideal time to buy a house was probably 2014, 2015. Right? I'm gonna break it down the last 10 years of inflation. And by by this it means. So by the way, inflation is always going to happen. It just depends on by how much. So like if eggs were let's if eggs were $5 and inflation was 1% for the year, then that means eggs will now be 505 basically. Kind of you know what I'm saying. So 2014.8, 2015.7, 2016 2.1, 2017 2.1, 2018 1.9, 2019 2.3, 2020 1.4. I want y'all to realize this. 2020 was what?
COVID.
Exactly. So of course, if y'all don't know, supply and demand. There was no demand anymore because everybody was inside. There was no demand for gas because nobody was driving. There was no demand for going out, like eating like at restaurants because nobody was going to them. There was a demand for toilet paper. So I'll give you that. Right. But basically, so again, a lot of y'all don't know is that a lot of those big oil companies, the ones that have these record profits, by the way, went to Trump and said, "Hey, we're losing a lot of money." By the way, they're not losing money; they're losing profits. Remember that they're losing a lot of profit because they're putting this much supply in the world, but they're not getting the demand for it, which is why gas prices and everything was so low because you had basically an abundance of gas and only so few people getting it. If you guys want a more if you guys want a more simplistic way of explaining supply and demand, I kind of use what my teacher taught me. How many of you have been in a classroom and then you've had gum? And as soon as you open that pack, everybody named mama shoots after you. Oh, let me get a piece, let me get a piece, let me get a piece. Okay. This is how supply and demand works. The reason why everybody's asking you for that piece is because nobody else has gum. And they know that you're limited in how much gum you have. So because there's so much demand for that gum, you can decide, hey, even though I got this gum for like 60 cents, I'm going to charge each of y'all a quarter per stick because the supply is low and the demand is high. So they're willing to pay for that quarter per stick of gum. What happened during COVID now is now picture instead of everybody in the class asking for a stick of gum, only 2 people asked for a stick of gum. But you were prepared for everybody to ask for a stick of gum. So here you are with 30 packs of gum. Right? So what ends up happening now is only 2 people want your gum. You have 30 packs, and they're not willing to pay that quarter anymore. But you want to offload whatever you have, so you got to sell it for cheaper now. 10 cents, 5 cents, something to get rid of all this gum. That's how supply and demand works. So now, again, I'm explaining to y'all what happened during COVID using gum. Okay. Now, what happened is they talked about it with Trump and everything like that. Trump said, lower your supply then. Right. Gave them permission, lower the supply. Now, picture now. Ready? So remember, you had 30 packs. Only 2 people wanted your gum during COVID. COVID starts to go away a little bit. Now you have the whole class is back, but you don't got 30 packs no more. You're back to that 2-pack or 1-pack that only the 2 people wanted. So now again, you have all these people wanting that gum, and you're back to 2 packs. So because of all those people wanting that gum and you're back to 2 packs, guess what? Now you're charging $1 per pack now, $1 per stick. Because now the supply isn't there anymore, but the demand is so much higher. That is inflation. That is why you saw a jump in how much things cost, because COVID made demand go down and supply stay up. After COVID, had supply being down to match the COVID numbers, but then demand went up because everybody started to come back out. So all the people who said everything was more affordable under Trump are remembering one specific time period in which nobody was outside. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now, guess who was still profiting though? Them guess who was still them companies, right? Even though the demand was low, they still were profiting because that's how big their margins are. They were still profiting because guess what? You still need their service. So when after COVID happened, they used inflation as an excuse to then drive up their prices. Same way I said with the gum. Even though the gum is worth only 30 or if not even 5 cents a stick, they're charging you 7 times that much, 10 times that much because they want to have record profit. So that's when you start to see inflation reach 7. So what the Fed does is go, okay, y'all want to keep doing that? Bet. All them loans y'all taking out with them banks, 7% now. All you big corporate businesses that like to lend money and get money from lenders, 7%. Now you're gonna borrow less money. Because they borrow less money, interest rate starts to go down a lot more. And now we're back to 2.7. So none of it had to do with things getting more expensive. It just had to do with record profits because there was no scarcity in regards to the ingredients of making things. It was all due to keeping profit margins high, right? And then to make matters worse, again, they blame everything else, right? They blame everything else. Oh, this country going to shit because it's expensive. Da, da, da. Just pick up a book, please. Or even better, we have YouTube. Like I don't want like certain things. I'm just like, yo, there is a how-to on YouTube for what you're trying to explain. There's a how-to. You don't need to go to college. You don't need to go to high school. Just look up how to understand supply and demand. Just look that up, and you'll understand what happens. But it also shows you that the market is heavily influenced by these corporate businesses. Same way, if y'all don't remember, that whole GameStop incident happened where the average everyday people bought a shit ton of GameStop stock when it was supposed to go down. And what did that do? Manipulate the price to have it go up. And then the Fed or whatever was like, can't have that.
Shut it down. Turn it
Shut
off.
it down. We're gonna stop trading on it. Even though technically speaking, that should be illegal. Because guess what? Those same companies that had all those profits and stuff, they do it too. They tell their boys, hey, I'm about to buy a shit ton of this stock. You should do it too. And then we get these get these profits going up. I bet. All that happened was the average everyday person did it and had enough following to have somebody else do it. But guess what? We in a capitalist society, which means not everybody can be rich.
Hmm.
You still need people to be dependent on the 1%. That's why they stopped the trades. That's why they screwed over whoever was late to the party. Because everybody could have made bank. Which most people did actually. Most people made bank. But again, they don't want equality or equity. They want to keep a fine line between consumer and the consumed. But go on, Jared.
Are we transitioning over to tariffs now?
Yes,
Is now the
sir.
time?
Yes, sir.
So to keep it simple, from what I understand and what I read, with tariffs, you generally institute them strategically. So, for example, everyone knows about American steel. We've always had tariffs on steel. That's been one of our main things since forever. No one would ever be against American steel tariffs because we have our own steel industry. Everyone knows that. So, when you throw them out there, no one's going to panic and say, "Oh my God, why are you doing that?" Because logically, it makes sense. We want to defend I guess you could call our steel industry one of our assets. This is one of our main assets. So that's something you want to defend, which is why we have tariffs. So people are more incentivized to buy our steel. But the problem is when you start throwing tariffs at shit you don't do. Like we're not majorly known for instance, we're not majorly known for manufacturing microchips. That's not one of our major things. It's just not. So when you want to throw a tariff at microchips that come from out of the country, we don't really make that shit. So what you're going to do is now drive up the price of anything that depends on that chip, right? So then the annoying part about this whole tariff argument is people are like, well, we can just make it here. Bro, how long does it take to do all that? Like you don't just start manufacturing microchips by flipping the, like snapping your fingers. You got to build the plants to do it. And that goes for any industry you want to break into. Do you have the infrastructure? No. All right. How long does it take to build it? Just one factory, because before you even break ground, there's all the permits and all the bullshit red tape, right? That's like 2 to 5 years for one. And then and that's like perfect. No hiccups, no issues. And then you got to staff it. And then once you staff it, guess what? Now you got to source materials. Okay. Well, we have mines here. Do we have mines for that? Yeah. Do we mine it? Not really. Okay. So now you have to build up your mining industry to fuel a factory that you just had to build. And then you just have this cascade effect of bullshit at which you don't have the infrastructure for it. So you screwed yourself over for what, like say 30 years to finally get your own industry? And in the meantime, we're getting squeezed because remember, we're the average everyday American citizen. So we're getting screwed the entire time they're trying to build up the industry. So no, the way he wants to do it are fucking dumb tariffs. And it's stupid.
Actually, the best part about it, the best part about the tariffs, bro, I don't mind them. You know why I don't mind them? Because we in a fuck around and find out type of environment right now. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like think about it, bro. Think about it. We ended up, you know, kind of having a 101 class about tariffs. In economic class, they literally tell you, hey, tariffs aren't really good for the economy because the point is if A makes things cheaper and more abundant and B makes another thing cheaper and more abundant, those things can then trade off with each other, right? America loves or consumes a lot, right? So, but guess our biggest thing is entertainment. You feel me? So when you have like us selling them Hollywood, that kind of stuff. Anything I'll do, Hollywood, Tom Cruise, everybody like that. And they can give us cell phones. Like, I'll give you Tom Cruise for a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? That's how we operate, basically. Right? We trade with Canada for energy. Ever look at your electricity bill and go, why is that so expensive? It's because it has a delivery fee. And unluckily for me in Massachusetts, we don't have power plants in Massachusetts. We got to get our shit from Jersey or Canada. You know how long it takes for the shit to get to here? Right? So they charge you double the price. You feel me? So when where?
Oh, a little ways up. I think.
For some reason, my chat's not showing on mine.
I was in a Twitch feed. Hold up.
I got you. But basically, if you want to look at why people don't understand tariffs, they were easily manipulated, bro. You feel me? Because everybody told you it would be more expensive. Everybody said that. The cost does not go to the country. And basic economics professors literally tell you tariffs are bad for the economy. They're only there for negotiating. Right? I remember Trump said one line where he was like, hey, sorry. He was like, I'm gonna put a 10% or 25% tariff on Mexico so they could stop sending their criminals over here.
And everyone kind of looked at each other, was like, the fuck did you just say?
Fam, fair. Like, just imagine hearing that. That means okay, so Mexico's purposely doing it. I guess. Like what? Like they like all those criminals go to the Mexican government. Like, all right, like I could go over America and start some shit over there if you want, and then come back here. When I'm all good. And Trump looking at like, yep, that's what they doing. What? Like, what are we talking about? And Fan, if you want to join, hold on, I got you. Hold on.
But like, and even with going back to tariffs, what everyone's saying, we should just manufacture everything here. You don't necessarily want to manufacture everything in your country because you don't want to put a massive strain on only your resources, right? That's the whole point of trading. I can do this really well. You can do this really well. Let's work out a deal so we can both make a benefit from it, right? So, like for instance, we don't have the amount of force that Canada does. We just don't. It's not how the country. It's just not. I'm sorry. So if we stop getting wood imports from everywhere else, and we're going to chop down all our own forest, we're going to run out of forest mad quick, real quick. And as everybody knows, a tree doesn't grow in like 5 years to a good size from which you want to harvest it, right? That takes like 20, 30 years to get a decent sized tree. So once you deplete your natural resources, then what? What are you going to do? You're going to go to other countries desperate because now you really need wood. And they'll be like, bet. But now I'm charging you 3 times what I normally did because you don't have any trees. Shit, can't afford to tell me no. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And also, I don't know if you go ahead.
Go ahead.
And also, depending on what industry you're doing, like say like steel, coal, and all that, bro, those are dirty industries. Why do you think China has a massive smog problem in general? In general, that's all they got over there. I don't want that here. I don't want every city that I go to be covered in smog and shit. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that you had, again, I told you this already in the podcast, a failed businessman trying to talk to American people about business because he has a lot of money. You get here what I said again, chat. It is a failed businessman who is talking to the American people about business because he's worth a lot of money. I don't think like fam. If you would have told me that I had 10 failed businesses, but I'm still worth $1 billion, that means to tell me, hey, I got good lawyers. Remember Trump University? I don't know if y'all remember that. The man tried to run his own college. And what happened? It failed. How do you fail college? Motherfucker, just show up and teach people. How do you fail that? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, see, Chris don't know. Look up everything Trump has ever done. Trump water, Trump steak, Trump airlines. Like this man did everything possible with the Trump name. And it's gone. Like it's bad, yo. And on top of that, what makes it worse? What makes it worse is the fact that the American people do not remember that stuff, or they just go, yeah, but you gotta fail sometimes. No, y'all, look. I know society taught us like you gotta fail sometimes to succeed. Motherfucker was already succeeding. So why? How do you? Personal question, chat. How do you fail steak?
Well done. Overcooked. Chewy. I don't know.
How do you feel water? Aquafina and Dasani are still in the game. Dasani make you want to go to the bathroom and drink more water. Like, come on, bro. How does that work? You feel me? So, but if there's something that I've learned, especially watching these elections, especially watching his cabinet choices, especially watching all these profit margins and everything like that, is that Republicans, the majority of them, are going to help out the 1%. They're not going to hold them accountable, right? We will not be in a situation where the rich aren't being treated fair until that happens. So if you're ever looking to see or try to get a difference in why you're suffering and then the 1%'s chilling, show up to them poll booths. Right? Serious. Because again, no salary in this world should be worth more than $1 million. I'm gonna say that again. No salary. Maybe the president, because the president's almost like, I don't think y'all realize, like, assassination attempts on the president happened without us knowing. Right? Like, they happen without us knowing. So I'm not even gonna skip that. But if you're the CEO, you're not, sorry, my dude, like, you're being used. I'm sorry, but I know you had a name. I don't know your name though. But you are in charge of one of the biggest insurance companies of all time. And instead of when you got to the top, instead of invoking change, you made things worse. The only time I could back you up is if you was going to be at that conference and saying, "Hey guys, we should cover more shit," because he was going to be at a conference, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. But nah, they want to treat everybody like Donzo and shit, trying to hide shit under the covers. Like, oh, this is my Ambu Black Ops. Like, like, fam, the 1% all runs politicians and stuff. We already know that. Trump is literally hiring the 1% as his cabinet. What does Linda McMahon know about, education? I seen Linda McMahon get stone cold stunned 5 times in my lifetime. I seen Donald Trump get stone cold stunner in my lifetime. Might as well put Stone Cold for president. Because he's going to stun whoever. Like, just imagine Stone Cold. No, I'm saying, just imagine Stone Cold, bro, King Jong-un. Well, we got nukes. Oh, yeah, well, that's the bottom line. And then flip him off. And then just Stone Cold stunning him. Like, no cap. But when you hear they don't raise the minimum wage because prices are going to go up, don't believe that.
Prices go up anyway.
Exactly.
Everything's gone up. Our entire lives, the price of everything has gone up.
Exactly.
So that doesn't make sense. It's a shit argument.
And fam, and like I said, before I used to say all the time, man, I remember when you had $1, you could buy a teeny juice, a bag of chips, what do they call them? A zebra cake, and probably like a honey bun, right? You can buy all those for $1, right? Now I compare it to a McChicken. My McChicken don't cost $1 no more. They don't even got $1 menu. Actually, what made it worse? No, they tried to pull some shit. Oh, it's the value menu now. Motherfucker, no. Give me back my $1. Give me back my $1. And then they try to finesse it like, oh, drinks are $1 now. Motherfucker, that's syrup and fizz. I know how those machines work. They're not Coca-Cola. It's Coca syrup. And then you put some fizz on it, yeah. But literally, and look, $1, yeah, like she said, Dollar Tree ain't even $1 no more. Five Below is 10 below now. You know what I'm saying? Five Guys is
they've always been overpriced.
I don't even know. First of all, I don't even know how the hell you made burgers that expensive. Like that cow better had said moo in the most articulate way possible if you're gonna be charging me $30 for a burger. All right, that's just that cow better learn how to say manure. That's what I'm saying. He don't even say manure. He says manure. Like, nah, that no cap, bro. No cap, bro. Legit. I used to make the McChicken with the McDouble. It's called a McGangbang, right? That was the no. Hear me out. It was the ultimate $2 sandwich, bro. If you had $3.07, right? You get a McChicken,
right?
You get a McDouble. You split the McDouble in half. You put the whole McChicken sandwich in the McDouble, okay? And then you had the $1 extra for a small drink. Man, that the sandwich was like this big. So fuck a Big Mac. You had a big gang bang. All right. And when you ate that shit, bro, you was full the rest of the day.
You got a chat question. What you talking about?
Oh, God. She don't know about the McGangbang chat. She don't know. She don't know. Look it up. Look it up. Actually, don't look it up on Google because Google be on some shit. Don't look it up. But if you got okay, but to kind of picture how it was, I'm serious. If you guys ever, so nowadays it takes like $5 to $7 to get it now. But get a McDouble, get a McChicken, split the patties, put the McChicken in the middle of the patties. Bam, you now have a McGangbang. That current. Damn. Look. That's what it was called. I ain't named it. Okay, somebody else named it. All I'm saying is that was the ultimate value meal of all time. See now, look what they did now. Now you got the Big Mac McChicken.
Mm.
Guess what the inspiration for that shit was? The McGangbang. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
But and then to kind of and we could probably talk about some especially when it comes to like the Caribbean and stuff like that. But politics, I think one of the most dangerous things in politics, one of the most dangerous things when we talk about this stuff is the fact that not everybody's educated. If you look at the exit polls, that's why I always say, you may not like Trump. You may not like him. He is smart. He's dumb where it matters, but he is smart. You know how I know how you know he's smart? When you look at the difference between what Kamala did, which was I'm trying to protect you guys. No. Her thing was more like Trump doesn't care about y'all. Right? What Trump did was basically scare the most uneducated. And if you want a reference to how what he did, look up Family Guy. When Lois was running for office, anytime they asked her a question, she said 9/11. What do you tend to do about taxes? 9/11. What about this? 9/11. Because the whole point, and a lot of people fail to get this, it's not about black people, right? If you win all of our votes, it still doesn't matter.
there's not enough of us.
There's not enough of us. Doesn't matter to Hispanics either. All you need to do, and it's not to all my folks out there, it's not to all my white folks out there. All you need to do is appease the uneducated white folks, and you have America in your pocket. That's all. And guess what? Guess who makes the most money out of those people? These businesses. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Because again, black folk, we used to rule Black Friday. They called it Black Friday because of us. Right? We saw them deals, right? You get a $500 TV for $100.50. But we was on it.
We've all seen the Walmart footage.
You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We know when it's bullshit on prices, right? You ain't about to give me this $600 TV is now $550. What am I gonna do with $50? No. So that's what we stopped showing up, and then all the other people was like, "Damn, if they not showing up, why are we showing up?" And now you see a chain reaction. Wait. Oh yeah. When he said they're eating the dogs, man, Trump is on some shit, bro. But yeah, man. Trust me when I say this, American people and just people in general, like look to see where you can make the most profit off of. And honestly, if I'm being real with y'all, bro, if you see a company like United Healthcare and shit buying all doing all this profit, buy some shares of a fucking company. Because guess what? Once you buy a share, guess what? You entitled to listen and vote on meetings. Y'all ain't know that. You are entitled. to listen and vote on meetings that affect the company as a whole. Remember that. All right. So you want to you'll know ahead of time from people, like you can have one share that's worth $25. They still have to invite you to the meeting. So always remember that. But yeah, man. Like I said, don't believe them when they say they can't raise the prices. Don't the wages, because
Hmm.
let's be honest, bro. They've been raising their own wages the entire time, because they ain't start off getting no 335 million and stuff like that. They start off that way. On top of that, when you're a CEO, the only thing you have on you is pressure, not actual work. Let's be honest. You're told by a team what to do. You have a committee that chooses for you, and you're basically the last vote. So don't let them do that.
Hmm.
Small loan of $1 million is crazy.
And
But
also,
yeah, go ahead.
develop a bullshit detector. So if any politician, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green, Blue, whatever, if they get up on stage or whatever and say some outrageous bullshit, you should be like, that don't sound right. Let me look into that. Because there's way too many people this cycle that were just like, oh my God, what? And they're like, there more people sort of happening, and they just believe the bullshit. And he's like, oh, China's going to pay the tariffs. Oh, okay, we'll vote for you. And they didn't do any basic, like, y'all got screwed. You got bamboozled, speckled dwarfed, fabooped. And we're going to be dealing with this shit for the next 4 years.
Motherfucker, did you just say speckled dwarfed?
I said speckled dwarfed. I said fabooped. And I said bamboozled. I used all three of them.
Hold on.
All three of them.
Hold on.
All three of them.
You said speckled. Oh shit! It's a word, y'all. It's
Speckled
a fucking.
dwarf is a word. 100% is a word.
It's a fucking word. Ain't no way. Hold on. Did Mr. Krabs say that shit?
SpongeBob did.
SpongeBob did. Hey, yo. No, all right, bro. With that being said, chat, now we gotta go.
Speckled dwarf is the word.
We got now. Hell no, we gotta go, chat. This man out here quoting SpongeBob on those speckled dwarf is crazy. But yeah, man, like I said, look out for the companies that you think, don't try to back these companies unless you're one of them. Right? If you're one of them, I get it. But if you're not, I don't know why you're defending them, because again, you out here paying car insurance just to not get into an accident. Right? If we apply logic, right, once you get that car insurance, you should be going right into somebody, bro. Just so you get your money's worth. But nah, don't do that though. I'm not saying I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying ideally that's technically what you want to do. But
Jesus.
But just know these companies are making profit margins, huge billion-dollar margins. I dare you to try to count to 1 billion. Guess what? You can't, because it takes more than a lifetime to count to 1 billion just by saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say to y'all. But yeah, man, Jared. Any last words for the people who haven't been duped yet?
Anybody who manages to use speckled dwarf in a sentence in their day-to-day life, message me, I'll give you $5. I'm just saying. In the right context, of course. You can't just throw it in there. You got to use it right.
And with that, he done speckled dwarfed all y'all. So that means that $5 is coming to my stream donation. Hey! With that being said, guys, we out. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. To those on Facebook, we appreciate you for tuning in as well. And with that, we're done with episode 5. Look out for episode 6 next week. No, next week is
Christmas. So
Christmas. We'll be back in about 2 weeks. We'll be back about 2-3 weeks. So we're gonna let you guys know we're gonna be posting on the channel, and then we're gonna try to make a page as well, so we can keep everything separate from our own things. And then yeah. With that being said, y'all, we love y'all, and we hope you guys have a good one.
Peace.